So today I want to talk about propagating lemongrass from cuttings. But while I have your attention, first I want to talk a little bit about why it's so wonderful to plant perennials in your garden, perennials like lemongrass. So perennial is a plant that you grow and plan to harvest from for multiple years. So unlike a lot of what we're used to planting in gardens, like lettuce, which will go to seed at the end of the winter season, or cucumbers, which will just die back at the end of the season, a perennial is something that you plant in your garden and you continue to enjoy it for years to come. So next year is Shemitah year, and a lot of us won't be working in the garden at all. Well, working in the garden, yes, but planting new things, no. And so it's really a very special time to establish a strong perennial garden, because next year, when we won't be planting and harvesting from new crops, we can continue to enjoy the perennial garden that we've set up in advance. So now I'll get back to lemongrass. Why do we want to plant lemongrass in the garden, and where? People use it for cooking. I use it for tea. It is very important to plant lemongrass not directly in your vegetable patch for a few reasons. One is that it spreads like a grass, puts down new little individual plants, and will just sort of spread indefinitely if it's thriving, which it probably will. And the second reason is that lemongrass is thought to be allelopathic, which means that as a part of its defense mechanism to maintain its own space, it puts out chemicals that can inhibit the germination and the development of other seeds in the area. So you might notice that around an existing lemongrass, it's rare to find a lot of weeds, but it will also be rare for a winter crop that you try to plant next to it to succeed. So I love to put lemongrass right near the front door, or if you have a back door, that's good too, because it smells amazing. Supposedly it keeps mosquitoes away. I don't really think it does. And maybe the essential oil of it helps a little bit, but also because you can just like grab it for tea leaves whenever you want. So okay, this is how we do it. I went over to my lemongrass plant, I reached my hand in as deeply as I could, and I yanked out as many plants as I could grab with one hand. You can see that some of them had a little bit of root structure left, and some almost none at all. So before I put it in water, and this is true, what an amazing technical problem mid-video, but basically I'll just tell you. Let's see if I can do it by hand. You want to take off, yes, all right, you want to take off all of the shoots, because this is a time for the plant to focus on creating new roots before you put it in the ground, so you don't want it to have to use that energy maintaining its root growth. Now, I have perpetual lemongrass growth, so I don't necessarily dry this and drink it, but it makes a really nice gift to put it aside and dry, and then have lemongrass to bag up and give to people as presents. Then I take this, and you can experiment with putting it directly in the ground and see if it grows, or you can put it in a jar of water for 3 days to a week, up to 2 weeks, to see if it grows roots, which just sort of gives it a head start before you put it in the garden. So this is lemongrass that I put in this jar on Thursday, and today it is Tuesday, and we've got some pretty good growth of roots. So I will take these now and stick them in the ground wherever I want them. Because they do so well and they tend to just expand on their own, I'll probably put them in 2 groups of 2 into little pots, give them to people as gifts, or find a new interesting spot in my garden to stick them. So good luck on your lemongrass propagating journeys.